this week that were in that vein, and I looked at him like, you must be high. You must be on crack, or you are just the most ignorant person in the world to believe that this economy is based on what Barack Obama did. I can tell you not. Because you know what? The business community looked at Donald Trump and said, that's a business guy, not a lawyer. He knows what he's talking about. Deregulation, tax break. Democrats will take that tax break away from you and shove those regulations back on, and it will shut down this economy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, I want to play one track.
Donald Trump was willing to believe in something, and he was willing to make the ultimate sacrifice.
And he has.
And he just did it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's put his family and his entire life on the line for us, the American people. So say what you want about Donald Trump. You don't have to like his tweets. You don't have to like his brash behavior or anything else. But you can't argue with the results. And the results are the economy, the stock market, the jobs. If you're arguing against the Trump economy, then you're a racist because more African Americans and more Hispanics are working in this country than ever before. So if you argue against Trump's economy, you're a racist. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick call from Walter in Belleville. Walter, welcome to the show.
Oh, man, Gary, I love it when you get fired up like that, man.
Isn't that every week? Seems like it.
With hellfire, brimstone, truth coming out of your mouth and fire and smoke coming out of your eyes and nose, man. That's right.
My blood pressure is so bad, I think when I'm in here, I'm going to die in the studio.
The earbuds are holding it in his ears, so the smoke's not coming out of his ears. The earbuds are holding that in.
Well, you better, as far as your blood pressure, you better keep up some super beats next to you.
Yes, right. That's probably what I do need. Get my nitric oxide levels going up a little bit, right? Among other things.
Man, I'm so glad. By the way, you guys need 3 hours, man. I keep saying it, but I'm so glad you about Obama out there. They done dug him up out of his rat hole again. He was hibernating for a good while, but he came back out of his rat hole out there spewing out lies and all that. And to add to what you said about the economy on the Barack Obama, remember there was record numbers of people going to food banks and even the working poor, the non-working, and the poor going to blood banks. And also record numbers of people, including in their 30s and 40s and 50s, moving back home with their parents. That's his legacy.
Yeah, and the jobs that he did create, Walter, were food service jobs, part-time jobs. That was his legacy. Yeah. Food jobs. We've got manufacturing jobs now, right?
Like Cortez says, well, if people are working 2 jobs, that's twice the unemployment.
How did he get away with that fabricated lie about manufactured jobs not coming back? How did he get a free pass? How come the Republicans are not bringing that out about all those wicked lies Mr. Transgender Bathroom Promoter spoke?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Right, I said it again.
Yeah. Can you imagine, Walter, what Trump's approval rating would be if we just had a fair media? If they just gave him fair coverage, if you covered the good things as much as you cover these bad things, imagine what his approval rating would be.
Obama did not need a ministry of propaganda. He had CNN and NBC.
Yes.
That's
and
right,
MSNBC
man.
and ABC, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that is so true. If we didn't get what we get from you guys and other national conservative stations, man, Trump, first of all, wouldn't have never won. And if he had the Republicans, I always tell my wife and other people, if anybody going to damn this country and send it straight to hell, is going to be those Judas. You know I'm going with this. Those Judas, John McCain type Republicans. That's right. He just died, but you know what? We get on. I'm going to, as time goes on, I'm getting to lighten up on him pretty soon with some hellfire brimstone.
Well, we didn't wait. Anyway. We did it last week.
Yeah, I didn't buy into the McCain hero thing at all.
We kind of started a little bit early there, didn't we? We didn't get family time to mourn long enough.
It wasn't cold yet.
That's right. All right, Walter, anything else?
Oh, I'm just glad what you guys are bringing out, man. There's not much I can add to it, but I know Obama's up to his old tricks again.
Yeah.
And the Democratic Party has been born and birthed straight out of the pits of hell.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
All right. Thank you, Walter. Have a great weekend. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. Because of that economy, I'm going to do my little business spew here. Derek, you got this last track ready here? This is understanding the low unemployment and what it means, and I just want to kind of put a little dose of reality into these job numbers a little bit. You got that one ready? Okay, let's go with it.
Unemployment has fallen to 3.9%. What does that mean? Well, it's a rare event in the economy, and it's good news, but it's one that people have to look at very carefully. The last time unemployment hit this level was in December 2000. And we're going to go back and show what happened before that event and after. Back in the 1990s, the economy was strong, and we saw this long, slow decline in unemployment until it bottomed out at 3.9%. The economy was growing at 5%, and you can see we had this big run-up in economic growth. Along with the strong economy, the stock market was doing very well. You remember we were in the dot-com bubble, and tech stocks were going through the roof. As you'd expect in a strong economy, prices were going up, and wages were going up too. Looking back, it was these factors that made it impossible to sustain 4% unemployment. And what's happened many times in history is when the economy gets too hot, the Federal Reserve starts to raise interest rates to prevent inflation from getting out of control. But things are different now. If you look at GDP, it has grown a lot more slowly this cycle than it did back in 2000. Businesses were investing a lot in the economy, expecting further growth. This time around, there has not been that much investment, in part because people have been nervous after the nasty recession we had a few years back. Today, while there's been some recent volatility in the stock market, stocks are pretty high and they've had a good run, but nothing compared to what they had back then. Now back to inflation. So inflation and wage growth have been a lot slower in recent years compared to how they were in the 1990s. Now, that's important because that could keep the economy from overheating. But the federal government has just passed a big tax cut and a big budget deal that are both going to push a lot of money into the economy, and that could make things overheat.
All right, so the sense that he's saying there is this is not the same as 2007 because you don't have those tech stocks, which went way up, but we all know the tech stocks had no real value.
Yes, exactly,
right?
a bubble.
It was a bubble. There was no value to the way people – kind of like Facebook. Mm-hmm. Facebook, people spend all kinds of money on a stock share in Facebook, but what do they really have in assets? Not a whole lot. And so I think it is a little different this time, but you still have to be careful. So I don't want everyone to say this is a big rosy picture. It's not. You got to be careful. But I like the fact that people are and businesses are kind of hedging their bets a little bit and saving some of that cash, and they're not being outrageously spending and investing.
But they're paying bonuses.
But they are paying bonuses.
They're hiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a gradual, because some people said, oh, Trump's economy is unsustainable. No. It's far more sustainable than it was in 2000.
Right. That's a good point.
It's a good point. So there's reason for optimism, but again, we all need to be careful, and we need to watch the signs. And the
Fed need to not vote Democrat and kill it.
That's right, because the Democrats will undo that tax break. They will reinstate all those regulations, and it'll just put the kibosh on this growth. We got a nice, sustainable growth period going here, and we need to do that. So in November, folks, campaign and vote Republican.
Where's that music coming from?
Yeah, I know. It's time already.
Oh, no. Walter was right.
Yeah, it is. All right, folks. Until next time, go to thedailydrift.com. Get your news that you
need to know.
And go to currentonline.com, and we need advertisers. Call us up. Call Ed, currentonline.com. We'll see you next week.